Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Sabu Steve proudly welcomes you to the Time Machine! Hi, welcome, I'm Sabu Steve Dolgosh, and this is the 6th episode of the Wrestling Time Machine. I have now made it 6 weeks. We are now going to go into February 8th through the 14th of 1970, where I have 43 fantastic, huge cards to bring to you that I've looked up this week. Once again, I want to thank you for all the people that's been watching, all my YouTube subscribers, and all my BitChute followers as well. I want to thank you, and please continue to support my podcast as I continue to make this the most informative wrestling history show dedicated to the territories. Alright, well, this week I've done extra research for you, and I found how to get Japan results for this time for you. So let's start with February 8th, 1970. Utsunomiya, Japan for the JWA. In a non-title match, AWA champion Verne Gagne defeated Thunder Sakayama by countout. Monster Rusamov, which of course is Andre the Giant in Japan at the time, fought a double countout with Strong Kobayashi. The Great Katsusu, Takeshi Oiso, and Tadahura Tanaka defeated Michael Nandor, Kaz Quasimodo, and Monster Rusamov. Bad Boy Shields defeated Mighty Uno. Asamu Teranishi defeated Anizo Morosaki. Tetsunoki Daigo defeated Sakichi Hongo, and Toshi Sano defeated Mr. Hamaguchi. February 8th, 1970, Edmonton, Alberta Stampede territory. Dave Rule defeated North American champion Abdullah Butcher by disqualification. Billy Robinson was victorious over Bill Dromo. Bobby and Jerry Christie, the tag team champions, faced off with Gil Hayes and Harvey Jones. Angelo Mosca fought a no contest with Alex the Butcher. Wayne Coleman defeated Gordon Ivy. Dan Crawford defeated Jose Quintero. And of course, Wayne Coleman is the future superstar Billy Graham. February 9th, 1970, Owati, Japan. AWA heavyweight champion Verne Gagne defeated the Great Katsutsu. Takeshi Osho, Strong Kobayashi, and Thunder Yukiyama defeated Monster Rusamov, Michael Nandor, and Quasimodo. Bad Boy Shields defeated Mighty Anu. Tadahura Tanaka defeated Takeshi Osho. Isamu Teranishi defeated Asasu Sano. Toru Kuroshio defeated Anru Murasaki. And Akiyama defeated Mr. Hamaguchi. February 9th, 1970, Lethbridge, Alberta for the Stampede territory. North America heavyweight champion Abdullah the Butcher faced off with Dave Rule. Billy Robinson faced off with Bill Dromo. Jerry Christie faced off with Angelo Mosca. Bobby Christie versus Jose Quintero. Gil Hayes versus Dan Crawford. Wayne Coleman versus Gordon Ivy. Vancouver, British Columbia on February 9th, 1970. Bulldog Bob Brown teamed up with John Quinn, defeating Steve Bullis and Dean Higuchi, the later Dean Ho. Mark Lewin defeated Moondog Lonnie Main. Woody Farmer defeated Haru Sasaki. Moose Morosky defeated Al Goodwin. Jack Benz fought a draw with Eric Froelich. On to the Western States Territory. February 9, 1970 in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Alex Perez defeated Eduardo Da Lynch. Gorgeous George Jr. defeated Nortino Pico. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, Gory Guerrero, the father of all the Guerrero family, teamed up with Roberto Soto, and they defeated Bull Ramos and Bobby Duncombe. And in the main event, 2 out of 3 falls match, Western Saints champion The Beast defeated Rufus R. Jones. Onward to Mid-Atlantic. February 1970, Charlotte, North Carolina. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, the Kentuckians, which of course was Grizzly Smith, teamed up with, that's getting past me at this moment. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, the Kentuckians and Mr. Wrestling defeated Art Nelson and Kurt and Carl von Stroheim. The Infernos defeated Rudy and Terry Kay. Tinker Todd defeated Steve Ricard, and Abe Jacobs defeated Johnny Heidman. February 9, 1970, Fort Worth, Texas for Big Time Wrestling, the Future World Class. Duke Kiamuka defeated Rupert Sakuna. Boris Malenko defeated Nick Kozak. Mil Mascaras over Eduardo Perez, and Boris Malenko wrestled and defeated Mil Mascaras. February 9, 1970, Washington, D.C. for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion Bruno Sammartino fought a 60-minute draw with Ernie the Cat Ladd. Moving on to the 10th of February, we'll start with Portland, Oregon for the Pacific Northwest. Kurt Von Steiger defeated Moondog Lonnie Meng. Eric Froelich fought a draw with Bobby Nichols. Don Serrano defeated Beauregard by disqualification. Frankie Lane fought a draw with John Tolos. Tom Andrews defeated Jerry London. February 10th, 1970, Dallas, Texas for Big Time Wrestling. We have a title change. Johnny Valentine won the Texas title from Wahoo McDaniels. So it looks like he takes that title back that Wahoo won from him not too long ago. Lord Charles Monologue defeated Cyclone Soto. Eduardo Perez fought a draw with Benji Ramirez. And Emile Dupree defeated Juan Sebastian. February 10th, 1970, Fayetteville, North Carolina for the Mid-Atlantic Territory. In a Texas death match, George Becker and Johnny Weaver, the future Mr. Wrestling 2, defeated Gene and Ole Anderson. In a 2 out of 3 falls, Luther Lindsay and Nelson Royal defeated Tom Bradley and Lee Hennig. Bob Griffin defeated Terry Garvin by disqualification. And Ronnie Garvin fought a draw with Randy Curtis. Raleigh, North Carolina, February 10th, 1970. Also for Mid-Atlantic. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, Rip Hawk and Sweet Hansen defeated Abe Jacobs and the original Mr. Wrestling, which will of course be Tim Woods. Art Nelson and Kurt Stroheim defeated Oni Wiki Wiki and Mati Suzuki. Rudy K beat Pedro Valdez. Billy Hines defeated Terry Kay. Onward to the Georgia Championship Wrestling Territory. So February 10th, 1970 in Macon, Georgia. Duke Savage defeated Salvatore Dominguez. Jim Wilson defeated Bill Kane. El Mongol defeated Buddy Colt. And with the disqualification rule waived, Southeastern Tag Team Champions The Assassins defeated Alberto and Ramon Torres. Worldwide Wrestling Federation, February 10th, 1970 in Trenton, Massachusetts, or Taunton, Massachusetts. Johnny Rods faced off with Mario Villano. Gorilla Monsoon versus Eric the Red. Waldo Von Erich against Bob Ellis. Ernie the Cat Ladd versus Professor Toru Tanaka. And Victor Rivera versus Killer Kowalski. I'd really love to see footage of the Ladd Tanaka match. That would definitely be interesting to me, being a heel fan, seeing the giant Ladd taking on the salt-throwing Tanaka. We're moving on to the 11th of February, so we're going to start with Saskatoon for the Stampede Territory, as North American champion Abdullah the Butcher fought a no contest with Dave Rule. Billy Robinson fought a draw with Bill Dromo. Gordon Ivy defeated Angelo Mosca by disqualification. Tag team champions Bobby and Jerry Christie defeated Alex the Butcher and Gil Hayes. Wayne Coleman, the future superstar Billy Graham, defeated Jose Quintero. Big Time Wrestling, February 11th, 1970, San Antonio, Texas. Killer Carl Cox teamed up with Johnny Valentine to defeat Duke Kiamoka and Mil Mascaras. Tony Pugliosi defeated Hans Matier. Emile Dupree defeated Juan Sebastian. Stu Gibson over Ripper Sakuna, and Joe Blanchard fought a draw with Benny Mata. We have February 11th, 1970, Miami Beach, Florida, and of course that means we're in the Florida territory. In a no disqualification match, NWA Heavyweight Champion Dory Funk Jr. defeated Jack Briscoe. Dante, the Great Mephisto, and Professor Dale Lewis defeated Les Welch. Thunderbolt Patterson and Sailor Art Thomas. Louis Tillet defeated Sir Roger Mitchell, and he had to do it twice in 20 minutes, and he was able to do that. Southern champion Missouri Mauler defeated against Jose Lothario. Dory Dixon defeated Mr. Saito. Florida Tag Team Champions Bronco Lubitsch and Chris Markoff defeated Danny Miller and Bob Orton. Lord Littlebrook defeated Little Beaver. And in the Florida Women's Championship, the champion Sherry Lee defeated Fran Gravett. Western States Territory, February 11th, 1970, Lubbock, Texas. Gorgeous George Jr., Rufus R. Jones, and Roberto Soto teamed up to defeat The Beast, Bobby Duncombe, and Dick Murdoch. Mr. Wrestling Gordon Nelson defeated Dusty Rhodes. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, Bull Ramos defeated Rocky Romero by disqualification. And in a West Texas Corral match, sounds like a cage match, Terry Funk defeated Harley Race. February 11th, 1970, in Honolulu, Hawaii. Johnny Barron teamed up with Ripper Collins to defeat Rene Goulet and Tom Klein. Bill Francis defeated Frank Ullman. Dick Morgan fought a draw with Bing Kai Lee. Pedro Morales defeated Mac McFarland. Pampero Firpo fought a draw with Tosh Togo. Worldwide Wrestling Federations, February 11th, 1970. They were in Boston, Massachusetts. And the card on this one was, in a Texas death match with 2 referees, Bruno Sammartino and Gorilla Monsoon defeated Ernie the Cat Ladd and Waldo von Erck. Ivan Koloff defeated Victor Rivera. Captain Lou Albano defeated Gene Dubois. Mario Milano defeated Eric the Red. The Big K, Karl Kovac, defeated Professor Toru Tanaka. And Killer Kowalski got a win over John L. Sullivan. Stampede Territory on the 12th of February, 1970 in Regina. We're going to start with Bill Dromo and Gil Hayes defeated Billy Robinson and Dave Rule. Bobby Christie fought a draw with Wayne Coleman. North American champion Abdullah the Butcher won a handicap match against Gordon Ivy and Jose Quintero. And Angelo Mosca defeated Alex the Butcher. Dogs in the background against the door, sorry. February 12th, 1970, Kansas City, Missouri for the Central States Territory. Danny Little Bear, Ernie the Cat Ladd, and Tommy Martin defeated Roger Kirby, Masao Kimura, and Toru Kamata. Bob Geigel and Mongolian Stomper defeated Killer and K.O. Cox. And of course, K.O. Cox is Bill Miller. Roger Kirby fought a draw with Tommy Martin. Viking defeated Rick Ronaldo. Danny Little Bear defeated Toru Kamata. We have 3 cards here that I have matchups for the Florida Championship Florida Territory on February 12th. Let's start with Sarasota, Florida card. Art Thomas was scheduled to face Skull Von Stroheim. Jack Briscoe and Bob Roop against Mr. Saito and Hiro Matsuda. The Mighty Atom against Wee Willie Wilson. Jim Dalton faced off with Louis Tillet. Also for the Florida Territory on the 12th, Ocala. NWA champion Dory Funk Jr. defended his title against Dale Lewis. Hiro Matsuda defeated Danny Miller. Bronco Lubitsch and Chris Markoff, the Florida Tag Team Champions, defended against Dory Dixon and Dick Steinborn. And Sherry Lee would have defended her Florida Women's title against Ann Jeanette. And the third card from Florida Territory on that day, on the 12th, at Dad City, Florida. Dante and the Great Mephisto faced off with Sam Steamboat Thunderbolt Patterson. Dr. Blood faced off with Bob Orton. Lord Littlebrook against Little Bruiser, and Al Velasco against Jose Betancourt. February 12, 1970, Amarillo, Texas for the Western States Territory. Alex Perez fought a draw with Roberto Soto. Dick Murdoch teamed up with Jessica Rogers, and they beat Marie Laverne and Billy Spears. Mr. Wrestling Gordon Nelson defeated Dusty Rhodes. Ricky Romero beat Bull Ramos by disqualification. Western States champion The Beast defended his title and defeated Gorgeous George Jr. And in a Apache Rawhide match, Terry Funk defeated Harley Race. Apache Rawhide, that makes me mind of a leather strap, so I would think that would be a strap match. February 12, 1970, NWA Los Angeles went to Bakersfield, California, where Mysterious X defeated El Negro. Mr. Moto defeated Gypsy Biviano. Miami Mauler defeated Seiji Sakaguchi. Don Carson defeated Pacific Coast champion El Medico by disqualification. And we're going to wrap up the 12th of February in Washington, D.C. with the Worldwide Wrestling Federation card. This is the television taping here, as Mario Milano beat Johnny Rodz. Karl Kovacs beat Gene Dubois. 2 out of 3 falls match. Mike Conrad defeated Tito Torres. Angelo Savoldi beat Chuck Richards. Eric the Red beat Miguel Feliciano. Pete Sanchez beat Mark Fracciaroli. Gorilla Monsoon and Victor Rivera defeated Toru Tanaka and Waldo Von Erich in the dark match. Here we go. We got some JWA action. February 13, 1970. We're going to start that day in Tokyo, Japan. Masayuki Fuji defeated Masanobu Taguchi. Haruka Eigen defeated Katsuhisa Shibata by disqualification. Akihisa Takachino, the future Great Kobuki, defeated Katsuji Adachi. Phil, of course, Buck Robley, fought a draw with Motoshi Okuma. Sonny King defeated Katsuchi Yamamoto. Kintaro Oki fought a double countout with Sandor Kovacs. Antonio Inoki defeated Jim Osborne in 7:30 with an abdominal stretch. And in the main event, Shushi Giant Baba teamed up with Masayaki Yoshimura to defeat Prince Iaukea and Pepper Martin by disqualification. February 13, 1970, Calgary, Alberta for the Stampede territory. North American champion Abdullah the Butcher defeated Billy Robinson. We have a tag team title change as Gil Hayes and Bill Dromo took the international tag team titles from Bobby and Jerry Christie. Angelo Mosca fought a double countout with Bob Luke. Wayne Coleman, of course, superstar Billy Graham defeated Buck Jones. Jesse Ortega beat Alex the Butcher. Gordon Ivy over Jose Quintero. Georgia Championship Wrestling Territory, Atlanta, Georgia on the 13th of February. Buddy Colt defeated Cisco Grimaldo. Ray Gunkel defeated Bill Kane. El Mongol and Les Wolf teamed up to defeat the Blue Demons. Television champion Nick Bockwinkel defeated Joe Scarpa. Of course, that's later going to be Chief Jay Strongbow. Doug Gilbert, Alberto Ramon Torres defeated Paul DeMarco and the Assassins in the main event. Western States Territory, February 13, 1970, Big Spring, Texas. Bull Ramos fought a draw with Gorgeous George Jr. The Lawman Don Slatton defeated Dusty Rhodes. Gorgeous George Jr. Ricky Romero defeated Bull Ramos and Dick Murdoch. Western States champion The Beast fought a 60-minute draw with Terry Funk. I have two cards from Florida on this day. Tallahassee, Florida on the 13th of February. NWA Heavyweight Champion Dory Funk Jr. defended his title against Southern Champion Missouri Mauler. Dante and the Great Mephisto went off against Dory Dixon and Bob Orton. Dale Lewis against Vicente Lopez, and the Mighty Atom faced off with Wee Willie Wilson. Also for the Florida Territory, Belle Glade, Florida on February 13th. Mr. Saito faced Danny Miller. Jack Briscoe and Bob Roop teamed up and they defeated Hiro Matsuda and Skull von Stroheim. Al Velasco faced off with Jose Betancourt. Jim Dalton against John Heath. And we're going to wrap up the 13th at North Attleboro, Massachusetts for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. And scheduled on that card would have been Pete Sanchez against Gene Dubois, Arnold Skaaland against Johnny Rodz, Mario Frattinoli against Waldo Von Erich, Gorilla Monsoon against Professor Toru Tanaka, and Mario Milano against Karl Kovacs. Alright, we're moving on to the very last day here, the 14th of February 1970. Good old Valentine's Day. We shall see what a lovely couple wrestling cards they were going to start off with the television program in Minneapolis, Minnesota for the AWA. Tag Team Champions, the Vachons, defended against Bill Howard and Bob Capel. Crusher defeated Angel Rivera. Pepper Gomez beat Buddy Smith. Blackjack Lanza defeated Santiago Acosta. Billy Red Lions defeated Ken Yates. Lars Anderson defeated Kenny J. JWA Tokyo, Japan for that day. Masayuki Fuji defeated Tomosugu Kutsuwada. Katsuji Adachi beat Osamu Kido. Akihisa Takachino, the future Great Kabuki, defeated Katsuhisa Shibata. Guatsi Yamamoto beat Phil Robley, which of course we know as Buck Robley. Sandor Kovacs defeated Motoshi Okuma. Pepper Martin defeated Mitsu Hirai. Shushi Johnny Baba defeated Sonny King. And Antonio Inoki and Kentaro Oki got the main event. This one defeating Prince Iaukea and Jim Osborne. Of course, Jim Osborne is double X in some of these AWA cards that we've been reading. Also for the AWA in Duluth, Minnesota on the 14th. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, Crusher and Edward Carpentier defeated tag champions the Vachons by disqualification. Pepper Gomez defeated Blackjack Lanza by disqualification. Larry the Axe Hennig defeated Bob Windham, the future Blackjack Mulligan. Red Bastien defeated Luke Graham. We have February 14, 1970, Baldwin, Pennsylvania, where they got lucky enough to see Bruno Sammartino defend the Worldwide Wrestling Federation title against, and he defeated Ivan Koloff. Alright, Florida here. A couple matchups that I have for February 14, 1970. We'll start with Eustis, Florida. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, Bob Roop and Dickie Steinborn faced off with Mr. Saito and Hiro Matsuda. Al Velasco faced off with Vicente Lopez. Also on the 14th in Lakeland, Florida, Dale Lewis against Bob Orton. Aldo Bogny against Louis Tilley. The Mighty Adam against Wee Willie Wilson. Dr. Blood faced off with Jose Lothario. Jack Welch against Jim Dalton. And my very last card that I have for you for this episode, February 14, 1970, Hereford, Texas for the Western States Territory. Bull Ramos defeated Billy Spears. Jessica Rogers defeated Marie Laverne. Gorgeous George Jr. got a victory over Bobby Duncombe. And NWA Heavyweight Champion Dory Funk Jr. was in town to defeat Ricky Romero. Thank you very much, everybody, for another episode in history. That was February 8th, February 14th, 1970. 6th episode of The Wrestling Time Machine. I, as a new channel, hope that you will continue to support as I try to make this the best wrestling podcast when it comes to territory history is my week and timeline. I also did my first episode of Wrestling 80, which I'm trying to use footage on YouTube of wrestling matches not owned by WWE, because I found out the hard way that's going to be stricken off the record real quick. And since it is a timeline, I have to make sure that I use anything that's going to take off a week in history. I want to keep everything in order, so I'm going to use what I'm allowed to use, which is plenty, and there's great wrestling from Japan, Southeastern, Memphis, Houston, many other Pacific Northwest, San Francisco, LA. a lot of territories that does have great footage that I'm going to be able to show on Wrestling 80, and I'm going to make that channel better and better, and hopefully I don't have to break it up as many times. Again, there has to be a first episode to learn from it. I had to delete a lot of stuff on my phone here to have enough footage to be able to keep the videos from stopping and skipping as many. So hopefully I have enough freed up now where I shouldn't be too have to be too jumpy with the Wrestling 80 videos. Once again, you have to give credit to where credit is due as I read these results. For my WWE results, historyofwwe.com. For Japan results that I've just started this week, you have to give credit to the great Hisa's Pirurusu Jojo. Any AWA Amarillo results comes from Clawmaster Jim Zordani. Stampede results and several other results come from Kayfabe Memories and various other websites that I have researched over the years. So here we go. In a couple of days, I should have Wrestling 80 ready for you, and I have some great stuff that I'm going to be filming for that episode. And once again, as you newcomers slowly start to enjoy, you have a lot of catching up to do for as you come. But as these go out and I'm able to get wrestling's history told the way it's supposed to be, more and more hours of content I give you. I am Sabu Steve Dolgosh. This is the Wrestling Time Machine. Thank you for coming aboard the Time Machine. Thank you very much.